good. What up, Dylan?
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Welcome back, right? Okay, guys, we're gonna give our UFC 300 prediction to this Friday. People are weighing in tomorrow, Saturday, which is gonna be the fight. We are super excited. We're gonna talk a little bit about who we think is gonna win, and don't argue with us because we right and you wrong, unless he disagrees with me, and then he's wrong. So, Dylan, how are you feeling about the card, man, all around?
Bro, I think it's gonna be a crazy card. They upped the bonuses to 300,000, and that I feel like just that is gonna make the card wild. There's already great fights, but like them adding that is gonna be nuts.
How do you think people are gonna like? Do you actually believe someone's gonna fight harder because of $300,000? Like they got this game plan and strategy you've been working on for the last 8, 12 weeks, and now because they got more money on the line, you think you're gonna wild out now?
I mean, that's life-changing money right there.
That is life-changing. $300,000.
Yeah.
Imagine something crazy happened, which I don't think they would do. You got fight of the night and a performance bonus, right? And then you got $600. I'm done fighting.
Yeah.
I'm done fighting. I'm retiring. I'm investing my money. All right, so let's jump into it. So just like Dana White quoted, he's like, from the first fight, it's going to blow your mind. I do think the first fight is a damn good fight.
Yeah.
We got Cody Garbrandt, which was one of the coaches on the Ultimate Fighter season 2025 that I was on, who was my opposing coach. And then you got freaking Figueroa.
Yeah.
And I think that's a damn good fight to start the card.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, and I'm surprised that they're giving that Cody's has this fight with Davison just because of both of their trajectories. I mean, Davison was a former champ, but he was different than Cody. It wasn't like he just had that for the one fight. All of his championship fights were super competitive.
Yeah.
Cody, on the other hand, has had a tough run, and so I'm kind of.
But Cody's on a 2-fight winning streak.
It is, but not against people of Davison's caliber.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say this. I think because Davison is coming up to the new weight class, he's on his second fight in the weight class. I don't think he's quite proven himself, so I can see how he kind of balance each other out. I'm going with Cody, obviously. I think Cody's he knows the weight class. I think he's super fast, he's super explosive. I also believe he's fighting smarter now. And so I'm gonna go with Cody. Who you got?
I'm gonna actually go opposite on this one. I'm going Davison. And, I think he's got the fight power, and I do think overall, I think he's a better fighter. I think Cody keeps his hands down a lot. So does Davison, but I think he's a little faster. Davison's got a little bit quicker reaction, and he has power.
Yeah.
And I've seen Cody get cracked a few times, so that's where I'm coming down to. In this fight is who has more power. I think going up to 35, I think Davison's gonna take that with him.
Interesting. Well, I'm going with Cody. Okay. Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. Like Jim fucking Miller. I guess that's his new name.
That's the nickname.
Jim fucking. This dude fought at UFC 100, UFC 200, and they mentioned like, would you come back for UFC 400? He's like, well, if they giving out $400,000 bonus, he'll come back. But who you think is gonna win that?
I think I'm gonna go with Jim Miller.
Me too.
Yeah, I think he's so experienced, and he's fought in the UFC so many times. I mean, almost more than anybody. And as many times as he's fought, he's been on the right side of that most of the time. And I think he's just a little bit better than Bobby Green.
Yeah, and the fact he won his last 5 out of 6 fights.
And that last fight was fun too. I mean, he's always fun to watch, and Bobby's coming off that big loss to Jalen, which was a tough finish,
Right.
Late stoppage.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Bobby is a gangster, but I hate the way he fights.
Yeah.
From a technical standpoint, I don't understand how you fighting a knockout fighter that's taller, longer, and you still keeping your hands down.
Yeah.
That was a recipe to get knocked out. But hey, he's a gangster. You know what I'm saying? He does his thing. Okay, so we both agree on that one. Next one, Jessica Andrade versus Morena Rodriguez.
Ooh.
I don't know much about Morena.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with Jessica Andrade. She's a former champion, and she's on a little bit of a winning streak. I'm going with her.
I do like Marina. She's a good fighter. I think she's pretty well rounded. But I am also gonna go with Andrade on this one. I think she's a bulldog, bro. She's like the female John Lineker. She just goes in there, drops bombs, and yeah, I think she's probably gonna take this W.
I guess we could talk about the favorites too, the odds, right? Because right now the odds with the Cody Garbrandt in Davidson fight, Cody is the underdog.
Big underdog, 250 plus. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. The Bobby Green and the Jim Miller, it's kind of even, right? Like,
hey, I mean, they have Bobby as the favorite, but not by a big margin.
how do you make Bobby the favorite? He's coming off a knockout loss,
Yeah.
and like he's been like actually losing. Like I don't remember the last fight he won really.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because he's still ranked that they're giving him that, but I don't think that's it.
Which is another. How is he still ranked and Jim Miller not?
I don't know if you're gonna bet on an underdog bet. I think Jim Miller's probably a good choice.
True. And Jessica and Moreno,
Well, that's a real close, but yeah, they got Andrade at the favorite just by a little bit.
yeah.
I think that's smart. I think she's probably gonna win that one.
Okay. The next one is Jalen Turner versus Hanato. I'm always going with Jalen Turner. His knockout win last fight is great. I think Hanato, he won his last fight, but it was times he was getting stunned.
Yeah, he's always kind of getting cracked in his fights.
Yeah.
And
He actually had to go into wrestling. Like
sometimes he wins, sometimes he doesn't. But
Yeah.
I do like Jalen. I've been watching him for a long time, and I've seen his improvements.
Mhm.
Like you can tell, the dude is just getting better all the time. And yeah, I think he's on a little bit of a upward trajectory right now, and he's the big favorite. So I'm definitely picking Jalen on that one.
And Jalen is the favorite.
Yeah, so the only one we disagreed on was Davis and Cody.
Yeah, Davis and Cody. Sadiq and Diego Lopez, right? So Lopez being the favorite.
Yeah.
But Sadiq is actually being the ranked fighter. Interesting. Tough one. I think I may go with Diego Lopez.
Yeah, this one's hard for me to pick because I like Diego. He's just, getting into the UFC. He's got a big following. People love him.
Yeah.
He does have an exciting fight style, but Yusuf goes out there and sleeps people. He's like, he is a good knockout artist.
Yeah.
I'm curious between this one, but I do think I agree with you. I think Diego probably picks this one up.
Goddamn, we on the roll. Okay, Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. I think this is one of the fights. This is a setup fight for Kayla Harrison. No disrespect to Holly Holm. She's a legend. She's a former champion, but she's also like 42 years old. And I believe Kayla is probably not super young either. However, Holly Holm is just, she's old. And honestly, sometimes she fights like she's old. She's fight safe. She don't get in there. She's not cracking people. She's not dropping people. And I just feel like Kayla Harrison is going to be able to take her down and maul her. And being that Holly Holm comes from a striking background, boxing background, even has some kickboxing fights, it's just hard to really learn wrestling. You can learn wrestling against a non-wrestler or non-grappler, but to really understand grappling against a hardcore, freaking two-time Olympic judo gold medalist, it's going to be tough. So I'm going with Kayla.
Okay, and I was watching the weigh-ins earlier, and Kayla officially made bantamweight for the first time in her career.
That's true.
She did look pretty sunk out. I'm sure she has a good team behind her doing it the right way, but
she with American Top Team.
Yeah, just to fuck with it a little bit, I'm gonna go Holly for the upset again.
Really?
Holly has come through on the biggest upset almost in MMA history.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with her to do it again.
I think she probably could win if she plays it safe, which is kind of how she fights. Honestly, she's like
a point fight.
Yeah. She'll punch and side kick you, then run away, then punch and she'll blitz and then side kick you again and run away. So
and I'm curious to see how. Kayla's been grappling her whole life. I don't imagine she's gonna get tired, but you never know. This weight cut could have been hard on her. It's the first time. I don't know if it's fucking with her head.
Yeah.
We'll see. I know she's mentally strong. I know she's a fucking savage. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this first bantamweight fight affects her.
Okay, all right. So we disagree on this one. Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. And mind you, they don't have the odds for the Holly and the Kayla fight on this. but on this UFC website. But anyway, Calvin versus Aljamain, and right now Aljamain is the favorite. Interesting. He's moving up a weight class, and he's still the favorite. Interesting. I'm gonna go with Aljamain only because I kind of really want him to win. I think he's showing like people hate him for some reason.
Yeah.
I kind of like him. I met him at the PI. He was super cool. He had a really good conversation with me and my son. He's a hardcore grappler, so I love my grapplers. And he's a former champion, and I think he kind of needs this win, honestly.
Yeah, I think he does. I think it'll be, especially if he wants to cement himself as a contender at the featherweight.
Yeah,
for sure. Is definitely a cool one, and I don't get the hate either. He got he got the belt by DQ, and then he dominated the dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's why he got the hate, was because of the DQ thing.
Yeah, but then he dominated him in the next fight. So.
And wait a minute, he started playing into the villain role a little bit.
Yeah. I do think he's probably going to take this one. I'm imagining in my mind he's going to rely on his takedowns. And Kattar has good defense, but I don't think I don't know if it's going to hold up against Aljamain's wrestling. I think he's got good grappling, and he's got good control too. So I'm going to pick Aljamain for this one as well. I kind of want to see some new stuff out of him in the featherweight division.
Okay. Moving on, we got a light heavyweight fight, right? And we got the jury. Jeez, man, you breaking my equipment. God damn it, Dylan. I was like, that was $500.
Yeah.
You break it, you buy.
You gotta edit that out.
How do you pronounce this name, man?
Alexander Ratchich.
Ratchet. I don't for some reason I feel like I haven't seen him fight.
Yeah, he has been out for a long time, and injuries and stuff like that. He's definitely been out. He hasn't been fighting as much as he should have. I think for him, this you have to win. Both guys, honestly.
Yeah, and it's pretty close, right? So, but he is the slight favorite.
Slight favorite. I mean, he's been gone forever, so I'm curious to see how he's coming back. And then Yuri coming off that loss,
but also coming off a long injury too.
Yeah. It's tough. I'm really excited for this fight. Actually, I think it's going to be wild, and I think they're both going to be throwing bombs. I think I'm going to pick Ratchich on this one. Yeah, I think I like the way he fights, and Yuri gets a little wild. So hopefully, Ratchich can capitalize on that.
Fun fact: 7 degrees of separation. I beat a guy named Boyan who beat Yuri.
Oh wow!
Right, you're right. It's a fun fact. So I feel like I beat Yuri. Yeah. Right. Okay, so now we're moving on to the main card. Let's go. Okay, so first fight on the main card, which has been controversial. People have been like, "What the hell?" Okay. Well, it is what it is. Dana White and the people over there made that decision, so we're not going to argue it. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. Now, mind you, I feel conflicted in this, right? Because I know Cody. I've had some rounds with him. He's in Factory X. I love that team. That's my former team. We go up to Factory X every couple of weeks to do some cross-training sparring. Bo Nickel, the reason why I have a little bit of love for him because he's a hardcore wrestler, 3-time national champion out of Penn State. I look at these guys and I kind of idolize them. So I like seeing those guys come in and dominate. But I just really want to see Cody shock the world. I think Bo could make an easy comeback off of a loss. And I'm afraid if Cody don't win, how does it could affect his career? I don't know. I don't think losing to Bo Nickel is not gonna hurt him too bad. But I just want to see him shock the world. I really do. I want to see him go out there. And when I like on this card, and this is what's the odds here, right? Yeah, the odds are freaking crazy. Yeah. This is the one you bet money on, right? Because it's like
if you bet $100 on Cody to win and he wins, you're getting $1,100 back.
Jesus, you know what I'm saying? That's good money. And that's the biggest difference in the odds in this whole card. And I think sometimes when you watch a card, you see the favorite win, or sometimes it's like the odds are really close, so it's a gimme fight where they'll pick 'em fight. But this one of the ones it could change the whole night.
Yeah.
Cody goes out there and sleep this dude everybody's talking about it tomorrow more than anything.
Oh yeah.
So I'm pulling from Cody. I'm pulling for Factory X, Mark Montoya, the whole crew. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, logically, Bo. I mean, they're trying to build him up to become champion. I think this is a tough matchup for him. This is the toughest matchup he's had so far. And Cody's actually been doing really well lately. He's got some good wins under his belt, and I'm curious to see what happens. As a Colorado guy, I want Cody to win, and I do think that the favorite is probably going to take this one. But let's go Colorado.
Man, you Benedict Arnold, man.
It is what it is.
I get it. You being honest. Anybody that looks at this fight on paper is going to say Bo Nickel's going to win, so it's understandable. So it's no disrespect to Cody, but I don't even want to say those words because I want to speak positivity into the world, into the universe, and I want Factory X and Cody Brundage to come back with this win and just shock the world. I think it'll just be awesome, not just for Cody, but obviously for Cody, but just to light MMA on fire. Sometimes the winner, the champions, or the favorite is always winning, and I can get boring, man. Let's switch it up.
That's something that, I was talking about with the Holly. When Ronda was on a tear, look how much the MMA women's world has been shaken up since that happened.
Right.
We've had so many different champions, So.
It would have been boring if Ronda would have kept winning, because I think if Ronda would have beat Holly, then she may have retired. Who else? How many women am I gonna beat, right? All right, moving on. Charles Du Bronx, right, versus Armin. I'm not even gonna try to say his last name because I'm horrible.
Armin Sarukian.
Sarukian? That's not so bad. I think the T is fucking me up, right? Armin last fight, man, he looked really good. Yeah. He looked really super solid his last fight. Yeah. But I'm going with Du Bronx. I'm going with Du Bronx. I honestly believe he is the king of the lightweight, man. The people he has beaten.
Yeah, he has a crazy resume.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Mike Chandler.
Yeah, he has put on some crazy performances.
Yeah, he needs this. He definitely needs this. But I'm going for him. He's actually Armin is the favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going with Armin on this one. I do think, that last fight, he looked great, but he's fighting an older Beneil Dariush. Probably should have gotten a title shot 4 fights ago. Unfortunately, the way things worked out, he didn't.
He fought Islam already.
Yeah, and that was his toughest fight. Islam's toughest fight was Armin, and I'm gonna go with Armin. I think he's young, he's hungry, he wants to fight Islam again. He thinks he gave him a good run. So yeah, I'm picking Armin on that one.
Okay, all right. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Now people are saying this is the people's main event, right? For the BMF belt. Now, initially I wasn't too keen on this whole Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje because Justin Gaethje is a killer and Max Holloway is a natural 145er. So you got a killer at 55 fighting a 45er who sometimes do take punches. They talk about Max Holloway chin. I'm like, man, I don't really want to see him getting punched by a bigger guy that hits like Justin Gaethje. So I wasn't too keen on it, but more to build up and seeing Max, he's looking strong. I don't know, he's kind of winning me over. Yeah. But I think he's going to put up a good fight. But I definitely still think Justin Gaethje is coming out with the win.
Yeah.
And he's obviously the favorite.
This fight's tough. I love Max. I love Justin. Justin's always been real cool to me too. Anytime I've had interaction with him up here. And this fight is similar to the Cody Davison fight in my mind. They're both great fighters. Both know how to fight. They both know how to protect themselves really well. I do think this fight comes down to KO power. Max got touched by Dustin. He recovered really well, and he fought the rest of that fight. I don't know if he'll be able to recover like that if Justin lands. Yeah, I think I'm picking Justin on this one. Colorado guy, he's got the power. He's the 55er, and I've actually seen him spar, and he's going out there to do work every time.
You know what's funny thing about it? It was like I saw because I watch everybody build up, right? I watch all these vlogs. I'm always on YouTube watching everybody's shit. I'm trying to learn. I'm taking things away from them. But I actually like to watch the story. And it was talking about how like his wrestling coach was like, yeah, we need to like wrestle, although we don't expect to have to deal with wrestling from Max Holloway. But just in case we should be training our wrestling. And I think that's another piece that I feel like is going to take away from Max Holloway is the fact that he's not like a triple threat. You know, he doesn't like, I got to worry about his kickboxing and his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. Like, he's more of a boxer than anything, and that really feeds into Justin Gaethje power punches. So
yeah, and it's not like, I mean, Justin's a good wrestler. He doesn't use it, but he will stop takedowns.
Yeah. He stopped Michael Chandler. Like, when Michael Chandler was shooting, he was able to scramble and get up and hit reverses on him. So that was really good. Now we got a women's championship fight. I think there's two strong women, but, you know, women MMA sometimes is like, this is the most quietest fight on the card. There's a fight that no one's talking about. But it's very interesting to see China versus China. That's something to be said.
Very interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I know Wei Li is the first Chinese champion.
Yeah.
And this other girl, Yan, she's nasty. I've watched a couple of her fights. She's definitely a good fighter. I'm picking Wei Li. I think she has more experience. She's been in the fights with some of the best women ever. You know, she beat Andrade. She beat Joanna twice.
Yeah.
That Joanna fight where her head was swollen up. I mean, that messed me up for a little bit.
That was one of like the best women MMA fights ever.
All time, yeah. I mean, that was one of the best fights I think I've seen, male or female. That was a banger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Wei Li takes this one. She's good, she's mean, she's strong. Yeah, and she's well-rounded, super well-rounded.
Okay, well, Wei Li, we going with Wei Li. Champion is going to retain the belt. Okay, main event, Alex Poton Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Is that how you say this? Say his first name Jamal or Jamal? Like it's spelled weird.
Yeah.
Like it's Jamal Hall. Jamal Hall. Jamal Hall. Like I know his parents like, man, we're gonna be unique. Like, just say Jamal, man. Just spell it, Jamal Hill. We talked about this before. I feel like this is a fight that I could see both guys winning. I see a path for both guys winning, right? I see the path for Pereira is really using his striking, his leg kicks, calf kicks to break down Jamal Hill, rolling with the punches and coming back and countering, especially with that lead hook. I think he's not gonna focus too much on the lead hook because everybody knows about it. I think he's gonna use the lead hook to set up something else. Right? You worried about a lead hook? Okay, boom, boom, boom. You think it over here, and I'm going over there and catch him. I also see that Jamal Hill, he fights long. He's long, but he also fights long, and he's a straight shooter. And sometimes Alex Pereira keeps his head on line, and he could get hit and be cracked. But the question is Jamal Hill really as healed up and ready as he say he is? So for that, I'm going with Alex Pereira.
Oh, wow. Okay. And yeah, this one is one that I have been kind of going back and forth in my head. One day I'll wake up and I'm like, oh, Pereira's going to win.
You literally wake up in the morning and be like all the things he could be thinking about, words, maybe a girl or money. He's like, is Jamal Hill going to win? That's what you wake up to.
But no, like you said, I could definitely see Alex winning. He's got weird power, watching back like his glory fights, even with the big gloves on, he's still sleeping guys with one shot, so I'm not surprised that he has been doing what he does. It is crazy to see him with 11 pro fights already be a two-weight world champion.
Yeah.
He was the middleweight champ, now he's the light heavyweight
Well,
champ.
you could definitely thank Adesanya for that.
Of course. He definitely moved him along. But, that it kind of blows my mind. I do like seeing people be great, so I wouldn't be upset if he won. Obviously, I think he's a good champ, and people love him. He's got a great fight style. I do think I'm picking Hill on this one.
I thought you do. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Wow.
He has crazy power too, and he's 3-0 against Brazilians right now. So
wow,
yeah,
that's why the Brazilians hate him. They're not being kind to him.
And he beat Glover,
in Brazil.
That's Alex's training partner. That's his main guy.
Yeah, that's his mentor. Yeah,
and he'll win. and got a couple tips from Adesanya, which throw
speaking
a little
to the ops.
throw a little something extra in there. And I think I'm gonna pick Hill. I think he seems like he's hungry. He seems like he's fired up. So
he's super confident. I give it to him. It's definitely one of those fights like it could really go either way. It's one of the fights I think I'll be in the edge of my seat because like one punch could like you could put either one of them fight. I think out of all these guys, like because a lot of these guys got knockout power, Justin Gaethje and Duke Bronx and all these guys got power, but like this definitely is a fight that one punch real quick in the first round could like it could stop the fight. From either guy.
And we've seen Pereira get knocked out by a smaller guy. And he had a similar body type.
But you can make the argument, that huge weight cut, you know, like you can fuck with your brain.
There's less water to protect you. I'm picking Hill on this one.
All right, there we go. So we made our picks. Let us know what you think. Who you got winning on the prelims and on the main card. Let us know if you're excited for any particular fight. Yeah, real quick. What fight are you the most excited for?
Ooh, the one that I'm the most excited for is probably the one that everybody is most excited for. Gaethje Holloway. I think it's gonna be a crazy fight. And I'm curious. I want to see Colorado come out with the dub.
I'm gonna say the fight that I'm most excited for is Duke Bronx versus Armin. I something about Charles Oliveira that like I love watching him fight.
I do love watching
and
him
like it's like his jiu-jitsu, but his kickboxing, it's like it's so clean. Like he's like I watch him and I study him and like I just freaking love it. And he's so exciting. He always goes for the kill, sometimes to his own detriment. But
he's got the most performance bonuses.
I really want to see him be champion again. I think his like I don't want him to fade into history and like and forget like the legacy he built. Like he from the ups and downs and how he had to rebuild himself up. I'm so excited to watch him fight, and I'm really hoping he wins. I know you're going for the other guy because you don't know shit about MMA.
Yeah, trust me, I love Charles, but I think Armin taking this one.
But that's the fight that I'm most excited for. Well, all right, guys, that's all we got, man. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think, and I appreciate your time, brother.
Hey, thank you, bro.
All right.